Corruption remains one of the biggest obstacles limiting the potentials of young people in Nigeria. Now, for decades, youths have paid the highest price for a system where public funds are misused, opportunities are manipulated, and basic services are controlled by greed. From unemployment to poor education, from failed empowerment programs to lack of transparent governance, corruption has created a generation that is talented, ready, and capable, but yet constantly shut out. Today on Youth Connect, we examine how corruption has shaped the lives, choices, and futures of young Nigerians, and why addressing it is not just a national issue, but a youth survival issue. Welcome, and thank you so much for joining us on Youth Connect, coming to you from Trust TV. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. Now let's go on a quick break, and when we return, you get to meet my guest. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. Today, we are talking about corruption and how it affects young people with Fareedah Gogo Ndana-Usman. She's a lawyer. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so we are talking about corruption. So how has corruption affected the opportunities available to young people in Nigeria over the years?
Oh, I can say that corruption has affected the youth in so many ways. I'll just list out a few and then maybe we'll go in depth with them. For example, quality education, healthcare, opportunities, and employment opportunities globally even. So going into quality education is something that it shouldn't even have to be said that it's something that's important. It's something that the way we communicate, the way we understand things logically and everything else. But it has gotten so bad to the point where your average person you meet on the streets now doesn't know how to construct basic sentences, basic calculations, arithmetics, quantitative reasoning, and all the other things. So this is something that I feel like at the very base of it, this is something that you can see how bad corruption has gotten in society, linking it to like the level of education that the average person has in that said society, right? So what else did I say? Sorry.
Healthcare.
Go to your general hospitals. This is something that is supposed to be maybe not free specifically, but it should be accessible to every single person. The doctors are not being properly paid. The doctors are not paid properly. Every other day we're going on strikes because they're not being adequately taken care of. And then you see someone like your basic hawker on the street cannot afford basic healthcare. Malaria treatment is hard to come by. Cough treatments and all these other things, they literally cannot afford to take care of their health. And then for job opportunities, if you're like, it has gotten to the point where when I speak to my friends or people that I meet, that they're trying to get job opportunities outside the country or something, and literally every single person, something that is very, very known at this point, that the moment you tell foreign employers or foreign investors that, oh, you're Nigerian or whatever, your chances of getting that position or that job or that contract has dwindled significantly. More than half of the percentage to which you could have gotten it has dwindled more than half of that. And what else? Yeah, because I think.
All right, so but let me just shift away from that. At least you've told us what is actually holding back, or what the problem has been that is affecting youths over the years. But what about the system failure? Do you think it's also holding youths back the most today?
Yes, nepotism. Like that's nepotism, favoritism, and all that. And it should go without saying, and it's common, like basic sense, that the jobs should only be given to people that are very, very qualified for those positions, not because my father is the director's friend or whatever. It doesn't make any sense. Because when you now put people that are not really qualified for the jobs, they just know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, you get subpar talent in that office there. So somebody that is more than qualified for that position, you don't give it to that person because of this person. Now you see that the system has deteriorated because that person that you're put in that position doesn't know what they're doing. They're just there to fill in the position, and not because they actually have knowledge on what they should be doing in that position.
So how about when it comes to corruption in schools and also public offices?
So Corruption in schools. I feel like corruption generally is a terrible thing. Like, nobody is contesting that, but corruption in schools is especially vile, I feel like, because that person or a child is in school because they're there to learn. And if they're not learning properly, it's the job of the school, it's the responsibility of that school to make sure that if it requires setting that child back a year, repeating that course or whatever, that they should be done. So because you're there to educate these children, not to just stamp a gold star on them and just send them on their way. No, they're there to be educated. So when you see, because this student didn't pass this course or whatever, you see them like going to and like look for the lecturers. Sir, please, can I, let me sort it out, sorting, as people try to call it, but it's actually bribery. Because you see situations where a student will miss a midterm exam, a test, an assignment, presentations and all that, and they're genuinely not worried because the system has gotten so bad to the point where they know that, I just need to give this person 5,000 naira or that person, sort the lecturer out. Cheap? Depending on the school you go to, I feel like it depends on the school you go to. So you can be like, I'll give this person 50,000, I'll give that person 100,000 naira, and it's sorted. This person has not attended a single class the entire semester and they still come out with an A. So how is that fair to the person? Because we're all supposed to be equal, isn't it? We're all here learning the same thing. We're supposed to be going through the same due process. But because this person has tons of money in their account, they feel like they just have a free pass through life generally, and that's not supposed to be how it's. That's not how it's supposed to be, because what about the person that has spent like countless days burning the midnight candle, trying to put their very best into this course and come out the very best, but because of greed, because I feel like that's what it is at its root. That's what corruption is. It's greed, because of our inherent greed, and I understand that human beings have greed naturally. It comes with us naturally, but I feel like we should be able to hold ourselves accountable and hold ourselves to certain standards, because if you don't have principles or standards as a person, then who are you? That's what makes you a man, I feel like, or a person generally. So yeah.
All right, so from a legal point of view, what makes it difficult for young people to report or challenge corrupt behavior?
Sorry, come again.
From a legal point of view, as a lawyer, so what makes it difficult for young people to report or challenge corrupt behaviors?
From a legal point of view, I mean, if we're going to go by the Nigerian statutes and all that, legally, there shouldn't be any hindrances at all for a person to go out there and report a crime and all that. So if we're going legally, because the law is very, very black and white, it's very, very rigid. So I can't say that there are any hindrances due to the law stopping a youth from going out there to complain about malpractice or anything like that. I'll say it's more like who are in positions where they're supposed to uphold the law. When these people have refused to carry out their duties the way they're supposed to, like, for example, a corrupt judge, for example, if a citizen should bring forth a suit before the court, this person has wronged me, or like a criminal suit and all that, this person has wronged me, this person has committed rape, this person has committed this, that, and the third. But because the judge, for example, is familiar with the offenders, the accused, because the judge is familiar with the accused or the accused father or something like that, then the judge will now purposely and intentionally hinder the due process of law. And that is a crime according to the criminal code. The particular section isn't coming to me at the moment, but that is a crime punishable under the law and is punishable under the national judicial.
Just hold on to that. Let's go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll continue this discussion. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us. We are discussing corruption and how it affects young people. Now, let me ask you, why do you think many youths believe hard work alone is no longer enough in this country?
Because a lot of our youth these days have put in the hard work, and they have seen that no matter how hard they work, it doesn't cut it when they're in competition with people that have connections, people that already have an advantage. People that already have like an advantageous standhold and all that. Because, for example, now this person could have been working towards a degree 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, because like the public education sectors and all that, public universities, the strikes and all that. This person has gone through this rigorous education system, puts in all the hard work and stuff like that. And then they come out with all this hard work, all these qualifications and all that, and they go for interviews, pass through all the many, many levels that they need to get through that interview. And at the last stage of that interview, for example, right? At that final stage of the interview, they fail. Why? Because, the person that they were contesting against, or the person that they were battling for this position against, is somebody that already had that connection, somebody that already has that money, somebody that already has that advantage over them. And due to this, a lot of youth just feel like, putting in the hard work is not worth it. Because even today, anywhere you go, like you go onto social media and all that, everybody's talking about nepotism. Because that's what it is, nepotism, favoritism, and just your best not being good enough, because at the end of the day, you do not have the financial capabilities or financial backing and all that.
And you don't know someone.
You don't know somebody and get the connection.
So would you say that poor leadership and mismanagement impacts the dreams and aspirations of young people?
It heavily impacts the dreams and aspirations of young people, because because today we know the things that's happening, like KB States, the KB kidnappings and all that. Yeah. These are literal children that went to school just to get education. Mm-hmm. And because of the terrorism that we've been battling for over 10 years now, I'm believing, over 10 years now, it has gotten so bad to the point where you see the terrorists being so bold as to be coming on TikTok and be doing live streams to show us their lifestyle, their RPGs and all the other things. And this is fully to blame on
the government.
The government. Our leaders are not doing what the leaders are supposed to be doing. They're in these positions. We have put them in these positions so as to eradicate these things. So if they're not eradicating these issues that we're having, these issues that are hindering our quality of life, the most basic quality of life, the most basic things that we should be afforded as citizens in our country, then what are they doing in those positions? What are they using our money to do if they're not mismanaging this money? Because that's what it is. Mm-hmm. It's mismanagement of funds, mismanagement of priorities, mismanagement of responsibilities. They're not taking it seriously. So
how can a person legally sue the government or hold them accountable from a legal point of view now?
You can't sue the government as a whole. You can't sue the government as a whole, but I don't know if you can actually sue these people, but you can go by ways of petitions. That's why we have petitions in place. We have provisions for peaceful protests to show when you're not happy with what is happening around you. This is why we have peaceful protests. We have petitions, and we know what a petition is, right? So we can go by petition and all these other things. But where you actually have to sue the government or an office or a person in particular, for example, AEDC, we can just go by. Because we can't sue one particular person, so you just sue the office generally. You go to your lawyer, you go through your lawyer, file a suit against the AEDC, and then I feel like it's a very, very straightforward process, actually. Yeah.
Do you think it works in Nigeria? Because we have seen a lot of people suing, but nothing happens.
Oh, absolutely. I would say in most cases, because I feel like it's partly with people not having information. They're not well informed about how they should go about these things. So because your mind is in the right place, yes, but you should also put in the work, the time, the effort to educate yourself and know the due processes on how to do these things. Because I've witnessed a lot of suits being thrown out or struck out for very, very basic mistakes that can be easily corrected if you just pay due diligence and put in the work to learn these things. So, and then, of course, it also has to do, again, with corruption. It also has to do with, this is the government we're talking about. These are officials, right? And these people will have relationships with the judges that will go behind the back. And because immediately you bring a suit against a government official and all that, even from like the place where you go to register that suit, they're already looking at you as if like you're just here to waste your time and money and effort, because we all know that it's an uphill battle. You're not going anywhere with this. You don't have the money, you don't have the resources. And these court cases can be drawn out for years at a time, 15 years, 20 years, just dragging on and on and on. So you're trying to tell me that you're trying to battle someone that is in a government office that has access to government funds, and government funds are not little funds. And then you're trying to battle this person that has hundreds of billions of naira or hundreds of millions of naira in his account, and you have your 1 or 2 million, but it's not, in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really stand a chance against this person that has all these resources, and also this person that will probably have like a more personal relationship with the judge, that has more access to the judge, that can affect or sway the judgment of that judge.
So, but now, before we go, do you believe Nigeria can realistically reduce corruption in the next decades? And what role can young legal practitioners like yourself play in making that happen?
Realistically speaking, with the way the state of things are, Nigerians are a very diverse group of people. We have 300 and something ethnic groups comprising of the entire country. And within this, we don't have that unity that is needed, because for us to have like an accountable government and all that, we have to have accountability, of course, and then unity. We do not have that unity. We're riddled with bigotry, tribalism. The Christians said this, the Muslims said this, like that whole Christian genocide that the Americans were talking about. It's not a Christian genocide, but because they already have this picture painted of us in their mind, what the Northerners are. I don't know what they think it is, but they see us as like mindless sheep that just very, very violent naturally. We don't think, we don't speak, we just, like Neanderthals basically. So that being said, I don't think that in the next decade, hopefully, I would love to be corrected. I would love to stand corrected on this. But with the way things are going, realistically speaking, I don't think in the next decade.
All right, so in 1 or 2 minutes, what's the most important mindset change you think young people need if we are going to break the cycle of corruption in Nigeria?
I feel like the one thing the one thing that we should have in our mindset collectively as a people is honor and accountability and integrity. Because a person who has honor and integrity will not want to besmirch their name or stain their name or stain their reputation with things such as corruption. Oh, this person defrauded this person embezzled so amount of money. We don't have honor and integrity as a society, and that's why I feel like most of these things are happening. And then we don't like to hold people accountable, because we see this person is a government official first and foremost. You don't look at the person, you look at the office that this is the title that this person is holding. We don't look at the person's age. That person was put in that position for a reason, to carry out certain duties, and this person doesn't carry out certain duties, these duties that they're supposed to do. And it has been proven that this person is being corrupt in that position that they're in. And instead of us to hold this person accountable, you see people online saying, oh, it's your father, this is somebody that can be your father, this is somebody that is the person's family issues are the person's family issues. That shouldn't come in the way of what the person is supposed to be doing. We'll call a spade a spade.
All right. Thank you so much, Fareedah, for taking your time to be on the program.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
To share also in your expertise. We really appreciate that.
Thank you very much for having me.
So today's conversation has shown that corruption is not just a national problem. It is a youth, development, and future issue. If young people continue to be shut out by unfair systems, our country risks losing some of its brightest minds. But the power to change this reality starts with awareness, accountability, and a generation that refuses to accept this norm. So if you enjoyed today's episode, please like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and all our social media platforms showing on your screen. I'm Fatima Ahmed Musa. Thanks for watching.